I should unmute my mic. I keep doing this every time. Ah. Din-din-din. Din-din-din-din-din. Din-din-din-din-din-din. Hello, hello. Welcome to an earlier stream than the times I usually stream. This is a test to see if I can actually keep at early afternoon streams, even though it's the weekend, because I only got up an hour ago and I'm still feeling sleepy. Well. Tonight? No, not tonight. This afternoon we're going to have a look at Café Enchante, which is an otome game, which means I will have to read a lot since it's a visual novel. Let's hope my tongue doesn't tie it up halfway through. And also hope whatever the opening song is doesn't give me a strike because of the music. I have no idea what the game is about, except like I think you work in a cafe, and that's it. I think you work in a cafe. So let's see if the music is not too loud, and just go right in. Oh, that's loud. I think that sounds like it's going to be loud. I am very well prepared. We don't just work in a cafe, I guess we are the owner. Press any button. Okay. That's nice. Skip mode, skip speed. Well, if you're going to skip text speed, give me immediate text, please. I mean, BGM so far sounds fine. I hope it sounds fine. I haven't actually checked. Well, tell me if anything is too loud. Please. Skip mode, toggle read or auto mode menu is on X. Okay. Safety settings, yes. I like the UI. I already love the UI. What's the operation guide say? Oh, what? Okay. Well, we are new customers. We will use the name she was given. Yes. should have probably read these out loud. But I already missed my cue, so... Aww.
じいちゃんがこの店をやってるのはどうしてだと思う？そうだな、それもある。喫茶店のマスターなんざ半分ぐらいはコーヒー好きが高じて店を開くようなもんだ。けどそれだけが理由じゃねえ。自分でコーヒー飲むのが好きなだけならうちで入れて飲んでりゃいいわけだしな。俺が店を開く一番の理由はな、うちに来てくれる奴らがいるからだ。ふらっと立ち寄ってくれた一元さん、この店のコーヒーの味に惚れ込んで何度も足を運んでくれる常連ども、そして遠くから、そう信じられねえくらい遠くからわざわざこの店に来てくれる客もいる。儲けなんざ考えもしなかった。じじいの道楽で始めた店だけどな。そんな誰かの居場所になっちまった以上、そうそうは閉められねえんだ。そうだ、いいか、覚えとけ。ことね、コーヒーは自分で飲むのもいいが、自分で入れるより誰かに入れてもらう方がうまいんだよ。そうだよな、まだわかんねえよな。おっと、最後の客がお帰りだ。ほら、じゃあお見送りのご挨拶ちゃんと覚えてるか？
So I'm guessing we take over the cafe because our grandpa probably died at some point. And the heroine is not voiced, which is pretty normal for Otome games, but still. Are you kidding me? I set the text speed to the highest available setting. This isn't... Hello! Sorry, just a second. Oh, I went the wrong direction. I said it too slow instead of fast. Oops! Oh god, everything looks so nice. I'm gonna read the heroine's lines. I think that's the best thing I can do. And then we'll see what we do about the spoken lines. I feel like I've been lost for so long, but I finally made it. I take my gaze away from the map in my hands and look across the familiar landscape. This is such a nice cafe. I am jealous. Café Enchante. And a name I hadn't heard in a while. It's been maybe 15 years now. Hearing myself say these words out loud makes me realize how long it's been. Even if the world around it has changed, as all of the years have passed by, it looks exactly how I always remembered it. I felt so happy at the fact for some reason, so much that it makes me smile. And her sprite actually smiles. Yes! 15 years. Yeah, I did a good job getting here if I do say so myself. Although I was completely reliant on this map. I put my phone away and exchanged it for the piece of paper and key in my bag. What brought me here is a letter from my beloved grandfather. And the key to this cafe. Oh wow. Fancy key. I'm back, Grandpa. I'll be in your care now. I quietly greet the small, simple key and carefully I open the door to this familiar place. Oh wow. Yeah, exactly my reaction. Oh wow. The space that appeared before me was the one within the fog of my mind. Hello. The faded scenes stuck in my memories regained their color and their strength. I take a few steps forward, noticing a layer of dust draped all over. It had all been left alone for so long. Still, a dim fragrance of coffee lingers in the air about the room. I find comfort in that. No doubt about it, this is definitely Grandpa's shop. It sure is. And it looks very extra. The wooden furnishings from back then radiate the comforting feeling of nature. My fingers glide upon the tables and chairs neatly and evenly laid out about the space, and that sense of familiarity fills me again. So many viands make me... I know, right? And I'm not even a coffee drinker, but this one... I really crave a cup of coffee now. The cups polished to a shine and the colorful saucers that match them. And the hand-operated coffee mill and siphons lined upon behind it. There's a dictionary. Ooh. Coffee mill. A device that crushes coffee beans for easier brewing. They range from hand crank to electric in many varieties and can greatly change the taste of the coffee. Okay. Siphon. Appearing like flasks attached together, a coffee brewing device that uses steam. While it takes a lot of work to use, many people like the atmosphere it offers. Okay. They stand there still holding their shine. They were always cared for so very well. Now that I'm here, should take a look around the whole shop. Yes, you do that. Oh, this is where Grandpa yelled at me, huh? What? It was the pillar I tried to... I tried to climb as a kid. Okay. Yeah, maybe don't do that. The stairs that were difficult to walk upon with its tall steps. The hallway floor where I struggled to clean the drawings I made upon it. Looking around conjures up all sorts of old memories. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I got yelled at a lot. What did you do? The next thing I looked at was a storehouse that held a bunch of things. It didn't seem dirty to me, though it would be a lot of physical work to clean all of it up. I mean, it looks nice enough. Right, I guess all was left alone after first. So he is dead. I'd have to look through everything to know what it was all used for. I can't do anything right now though, huh? Kitchen. Behind the counter seating is a large kitchen. Oh wow. I've never noticed the kitchen before. A faded memory of my grandpa making a quick meal comes to mind. I think at the time he was making a sandwich, and of course he was happy, smiling. What do you mean? You stayed with your grandpa a lot in your childhood and you have never been to the kitchen in his cafe once? I floated through the kitchen, making my way to the back of Enchante. Though it wasn't much, there were the remains of what used to be a vegetable garden. Why? Come on. I just want to play a nice game. Don't do that. No, I don't have yet. I don't have mods yet. Ha ha ha. I could make... if I figure out how I can make you mod, I can do... Ha! There we go. I figured it out. You're mod now. You're allowed to be mod now. In a corner there was a small flower mat. The colorful vegetables and the pretty flowers decorating the area always looked so impressive. That's right, I remember crying here. What is it with you? My face grew flushed from the memory of me throwing a fuss, wanting to water the flowers, rolling around and crying over it. Being back here just opens up a floodgate of memories one after another. I continue touring the first floor as if to search for those moments I'd forgotten, and then I mutter again. I'm back, Grandpa. Aww. Away from Tokyo, the capital of Japan, far from the city center, sitting in an alley after a 5-minute walk, the privately owned Café Enchante. The person who owned the shop was none other than my late grandpa, Suan Araki, the heroine's grandfather. He was the owner of Café Enchante, while he had a refined appearance, he had a hearty and broad-minded personality, a master of brewing coffee. Nice. Sure brings back memories. The amount of nostalgia I feel seems endless. Oh, now it's the same thing in color. No, it was in color before as well. Until I was about 4, my parents were too busy and I had lived here at Café Enchante with Grandpa. My family. When my parents decided to settle down in the country, Grandpa continued to watch after the cafe. That was probably why I thought it would still be his forever. I never once imagined that I'd be the one to come and continue running the shop. Let me guess, she has no experience even brewing coffee? Enchante was a cafe, but it was also a place that Grandpa called home. The building was surprisingly large. The drafty 2nd and 3rd floors were living spaces, as only the 1st floor was the cafe. With the counter seats facing the bar and the cozy table seating around the shop, there was a total of about 20 seats here. The minibar seemed to have just some basic drip coffee available. Drip coffee. A type of brewed coffee. Coffee beans are placed in a filter, then hot water is poured in to brew it. A very standard brewing technique. So the one thing I can also do when I were to brew coffee. If I were to brew coffee. The types of beans were written there, but it prompted patrons to choose their brew. You got to see it brew as you chatted. Grandpa thought it was too much of a pain to decide the type of brew himself, so he'd make the customer decide. Interesting. Though I think it was really popular to be able to choose your method from the nail drip to the siphon and watch the process. A method of coffee brewing using a cloth filter. Well, we are learning a lot about coffee brewing, I guess. That's right. Just then, from the corner of my eye, I see curtains hung behind the stairs and moved toward them. I thought I had walked through all of the 1st floor already. What's behind these curtains? Looking from the garden, there should be another room behind these curtains. I go through them deep into... Well, that makes sense. I knew it. Although, what was this room for? If it's a... It says staff only on it. I wonder what the room is for. I tilted my head and wondered this room hidden so far in the back. It just doesn't match what I remember. Still, if it's possible I'll be taking over this place, I should have an understanding of the interior of the shop, so... Hello? Attempting to figure out what this last room was, I opened its door. Excuse me? Something came into my vision immediately. It was a what? Ostentatiously adorned door that didn't quite match the rest of the cafe. Come to think of it. Wait, is this room just for this door? Right, aside from the ornate door, there was nothing else there. Even though there was a space for it, like the storehouse, nothing was kept here. Nothing stored, no extra furniture. Just a door. It just sits there. Why is there a door here? Open it and find out. Took a peek behind it, but sure enough there was nothing there. Just the rest of the room. It doesn't open either. I hadn't the slightest clue as to what I was doing here. It's just an old door. I have no idea when it might have been built. Even though there's no doubt it was old, its frame seemed strangely free of blemishes. Gazing at the doorbell hung at the top, I tilted my head and wondered yet again. Maybe Grandpa bought it thinking he would use it to replace another door. Yeah, sure, that's why he... If you turn out to be one of those heroines that have nothing in their brain, I'm gonna cry. He always liked antiques and old things. That's the only reason I could think of as to why it would be here. Is it normal for anyone to really have just a door in here? A plate read open and closed on it, which must have been intended to use at the entrance. Plate. A border sign usually placed on a shop entrance to inform people whether it's open or closed for business. Open means in operation. Closed means it's either off business hours or temporarily on break. Thanks! I never would have guessed! I imagine my free-spirited and showy grandpa going through the effort and smile wryly to myself. But now that he's gone, I'll never know what he intended to do with this. I have to take over or Enchante won't be business anymore. I reach out to the plate marked closed. Grandma must have turned over. I think that's missing an it. Must have turned it over before he passed. This lonely looking plate that would turn people away, knowing the cafe would never open again. I decide to keep it unclosed. I think that one's going to give us a bad end, like, immediately. But I'm gonna make a save here anyway, to see. I bet it's a bad end. Like, obviously the game wouldn't start. So, let's open it. I acted on a whim. This door led nowhere and it stood in the middle of a shop that lost its owner. The sign was writhing in boredom, proclaiming the store's closed status. It seemed strange for me to even feel this, but it looked a little lonely. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. My feelings guide me. I turn over the plate, the letters written on it jump into my sight, and at that moment, the world changed. What? The doorbell rang, announcing a customer. What? The light spilling from the doors blinded me, and the first thing I felt was a warmth that enveloped my entire body. Who are you? A sweet embrace of us holding something precious and delicate. Those glimmering eyes were looking straight at me. Where did he come from? Who is he? Is it just me, or can you barely hear them talking? It's super quiet, right? But it's already... Yeah, it's at the highest settings. Oh, jeez. Maybe this is a little better. How did they record him? Like 5 rooms over? I can't hear him. Most importantly, I was wondering why I was being held all of a sudden. With these questions spinning in my head, I take a breath. You're a little too close. Do you mind taking a step back? I mustered all my strength to say anything I could and escape from his arms. I quickly back away to the wall, putting myself on guard, clutching my phone. You are super suspicious, and also I still can't hear you. I swear. No, I mean, I can hear the BGM just fine. But him, whenever he says anything, I can't hear it. Like, it's, even though in the settings all the voiced lines are already in the highest setting. Even though the words held a certain intent, it seemed like he was laughing and a grin, enjoying this moment. Yeah, sure. I can't trust you at all. Who in the world even are you? You must be a criminal. You are, right? Completely ready to call the police, I glare at the man. I don't want that. I was trying to do my best to intimidate him, but after seeing that, it was very apparent that he was smiling. His features were beautiful, his jade eyes, his unique hair, he had these horns. You're not wondering about the horns? This was an emergency, but his face gave me the impression he had things under control. But the other side, the embrace just now was practically assault. Wait, what? Are those really horns growing besides your ears? No, I'm fine. I don't want to do that. I'm so sorry. What is it? You want to touch his horn? I bet you do. He closes the distance between us. I circle around him to get further away. Now that I look at him more closely, actually I don't need to look closely. It wasn't only features, but his outfit also seemed very unique. It was a loose robe adorned with colors of black and purple. They were clothes not worn by anyone other than a wizard from a fantasy world. Are your clothes cosplay for some kind of wizard character? Cosplay. Dressing up and acting as a fictional character. Extraordinary love for the character is a requirement. I see. Hello! You wizard, Harry. Okay. I feel it. I feel it. 3 question marks, I feel it. You're totally harmless. You know my grandpa? Soan's granddaughter, the heroine of this game, a woman who came to Café Enchante after the passing of her grandfather. Thanks, game. Yes, that's right. An acquaintance of Grandpa's. If that's true, I suppose it would put me at ease, at least for a little bit. Still, even if that's true, where did you come from? It seemed like you came through these doors, but I was alone when I was in here earlier. I pointed my finger at the door. Was he behind the door? Although it's hard to believe he was hiding from my sight the entire time. And until I arrived today, the shop had been closed ever since Grandpa passed away. Considering that, anyone other than myself being here is just strange. What he glanced suggestively at was the same thing I pointed to, the door. Suddenly the horned man stopped speaking and I felt a disturbance around me. What? An earthquake? The tremors get more and more intense. I thought that Enchante itself would be in trouble until... Excuse me? Bavaria, a town blown away. What? Originating from Buddhism in this game, it refers to a magical effect used for defense and isolation of existences. Aha! Oh, nice. It's one of those that has voiced lines if you keep the name for the heroine. Unable to even reply with a flick of his finger. For some reason, I felt my body immediately pulled backward. I fell to the ground from the sudden force, and in the next instant, what happened before me surprised me even more. That's the red one. That has to be Ignis, right? The red one. That was just now. The angel thing?
やはりアンシャンテはいい。久々に訪れるとますますそう感じる。
The special agent? No? Oh, one of these was the Dullahan. Okay, never mind.
しばらく見ねえからどっかで落ちんだと思ってた。
I haven't seen any of you, so I thought you died. Wait, this wild-looking man had flames spilling out from his entire body.
このメンバーが死ぬというのはなかなか想像ができない事態では。
This man had clean features on his face and wings growing out of his back.
言えている。そもそも我は死なぬ身だ。
This man looked like a knight clad in black armor, like he was from the Middle Ages. Uh-huh.
んなことは分かってるっつうの。相変わらず冗談が通じねえな。それより GG はどこだよ。こんだけ長いこと俺らを締め出したな。簡単には許さねえぞ。詫びにただ飯でもよこさねえ限りな。
それは随分簡単に許している気がするが。
いえ、ですが確かに今はソワンの所在を確かめ、状況を問い詰めるべきでしょう。予約していた作品のドラマ CD 付き限定版、ちゃんと入手。
Alright.
私はそれがとても気がかりで。
あ？こいつ。
そうなんだ。しばらく見ない随分と怪しい。
Yes, I am my grandpa.
いや、どう見ても別人だろうが。どこに目つけてんだ、てめえらは。
Thank you. Thank you. At least one of you has brain cells.
カヌスの場合は文字通りの意味で、本当どこに目があるんだろうね。
Oh. I look at these three, no four suspicious men before me, and find that my mind is completely frozen. As my eyes shot around frantically, one of them slowly eased his way to me.
おいこら、不審者女。ソーアンの留守に店に入り込むと。いい度胸じゃねえ。
Mate, this is my grandpa's shop. I own it. What? Trespasser. That's what I should be saying. Ah! Just as I was about to yell at the man I met first cuts in.
ごめんね、ことね。怪しくてうさんくさくて危険な奴らだけど、あんまり害はないから安心して。
Don't worry. Well, you act as if you're not one of them, but you're all trespassers to me.
と、ノリでいけるかと思ったら、意外と手厳しい。
No, I'm not letting you off easy. I mean, including you. Who are you
ど
guys?
ちら様も何も見ての通り。
As you can see, we are a very elaborate cosplay group. He stops to flash another smile and speaks.
異世界からのお客様だけど。
Oof. Guest from another world. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You can't just fade to black on me. that's it for the prologue, I guess. It all looks so good. Ah, main chapter 1. Okay. Chapter.
やは
The
り
trespasser wearing a helmet.
ここ数ヶ月店が開かなかったのでよもやとは思っていたが
So you guys just change clothes.
まだ信じられないです。この前来た時は元気だったのに。
人間っていうのは短命だからね。ああ見えて、ソーアンも結構な年だったし。
First trespasser.
今思うと、俺たちを一度帰らせたのも、近いうちに自分が亡くなることを予想してたのかもしれない。
かもしれん。いずれにせよ惜しい方をなくした。
The elegant trespasser.
死
The rowdy trespasser.
死んじまったもんは仕方ねえだろ。
If you don't turn out to be a cat lover, I'm gonna cry.
イグニス、そのような言い方は。
うるせえ。ここでいじけてりゃジジイが墓から這い出してくるな。俺だっていくらでもいじけてやるよ。
Doesn't work like that.
そうじゃねえ。ジジイは死んだ。だったら俺たちが考えるべきはこれからどうするか。違う。
一理ある。相変わらずイグニスは見た目に反して常識的だ。
So you're telling him he looks like an idiot?
そうですね。見た目はどう見ても粗暴者なのですが。
見た目についててめえらだけには言われたくねえよ。そこの鉄仮面野郎が。
でも実際、イグニスの言う通りだよね。ソーアンが亡くなった以上、このアンシャンテの行く末はどうなるのか。それ次第で、俺たちだって、いろいろと今後を考えなきゃいけないでしょ。
そうだな。その通りだ。我々がここに来られていたのも、ソーアン殿の存在あってのことだからな。
まあな。どういう経緯であれ、一度締め出されちまったら。
I mean, I
無
did
理に来るってのは薄いって
open
ことだ。
whatever barrier that was, so...
ということでさ、俺たちの
The cat is a paid
将来を
actor.
生きる人物というか、
Hey, friend. If you can even hear it. Meow! Okay. I guess you can. Hey!
まずはテーブルの下で頭抱えてるあの子を
Holding her hand, hiding under the table. Oh. What did you do? The fact that these men came out of nowhere through a door that led to nothing. The fact that it felt like their appearances changed the moment I glanced away from them. The fact that they called themselves guests from another world. I just don't know what's going on anymore. Honestly, I just want them to leave me alone until I wake up from this terrible dream. I hold my head and thought about it as if ignoring my pathetic plea.
だって
That is my name. The foreman I could only see as suspicious trespassers come closer and closer to me.
こいつがジジイの孫娘ってマジかよ。いまいち信じられねえ。
Yes, I am.
間違いないでしょう。彼女にはソーアンの面影もありますし。
The young man who had wings spoke gently, peering into my face.
突然の訪問、失礼しました。けれど私たちは怪しいものではありません。
Really?
無論だ。ソーアン殿にかけて誓う。
Ah,
我々は
please don't come closer.
怪しくなどない。
Stop!
なぜに一歩下がるのだ。
いやもうてめえは黙っとけカメス。見るからに不審者のてめえが口開くと。進めねえから。
They're so mean to each other.
ということでことね。変な人たちに囲まれて不安だけど
He has a tiny teeth.
てくれるかな。
Wait, both of them have tiny canine teeth. Why do you keep trying to talk to me as if you aren't one of them? No matter how many times I close my eyes or pinch my cheeks, it doesn't seem like this situation will disappear. I take a deep breath, stand up with caution, and with eyes half open, take a look. Okay. There's the man I first met, or rather the one that helped me unexpectedly. He was a young man who had a refined aura to him despite breaking into the cafe. Then the rowdy-looking man glaring at me with an unamused look on his face. Suspicious trespassers. They're all suspicious considering they broke into the cafe, but ignoring that one with the helmet on, they seem to be normal people. Perhaps. Still. Then what was with how they looked just now? Well, that's their real forms. Let me figure out what's going on. That's an interesting thing I can click on. Me, save every single time you get to save? Absolutely. They seem pretty familiar with Enchante and they do seem to know Grandpa. So the answer that all that leads to is, are you guests of the cafe? You're regulars. Okay. Fine. You do you. You hang around here.
そうだね。朝から晩までおはようからお休みまでって感じかな。
I see.
私に関してはいわゆる住み込みでしたから。
In someone else's cafe? That's actually a bit of a nuisance. But who are these people in the first place? The very first moment I met them, how they looked when they first appeared, when I saw them in a brief moment. Yeah. The man clad in armor over his entire body. The man with wings on his back. And the man with very long nails. The wavering flames. The way they looked back then. Everyone, I feel like you all looked much different when you first got here.
私たちが力を行使している際の姿ですか?
Uh-huh.
ああ、そっか。確かにあの状態って随分と見た目が変わるもんね。俺たちは無意識にやっちゃってるし、ソアンはあまりにも気にしないから、なんだかある意味新鮮な。
Just because my grandma was so laid back is... I can do that.
学校うんぬんって。
Oh my god.
これのことか。
No sooner than he spoke, he transformed as if he were in a movie. Just then, a wind so hot that made it hard to breathe. So hot that made it hard breathe swept across my face. Thank you, Atlas. No, not Atlas. Axis. Jesus. I nod emphatically and everything disappears in the next instant. We just do this sometimes. Don't ask me how it works. Haha.
しみじみ嬉しそうに語ってるけどよ。現在進行形で邪魔だぞ。
これは言ってしまえば私たちの存在における一つの形。
Okay.
こういうことができる存在というだけで、それ以上でもそれ以上。
You just run around with several wings on your back and be like, oh yeah, that's just a thing I do. But the one with the armor takes up too much space? I see.
お、疑問解決?
No,
よかった
what are
よ
you?
かった
You didn't tell me what you are. Calling them answered is a stretch. I went from I don't get it to I have no idea Then in a spark of curiosity, I ask another question. Okay, then how about you? Are you able to do that too? As if he didn't expect me to ask it, he looked a bit surprised and then...
琴音はエッチだな。
Excuse me! What makes you say that? And so by asking those few questions, I came to the following conclusion. These men were in fact outsiders separated far from the rules of this world. So what or who really are all of you? It seemed ridiculous to have to ask such a question, but I had no other choice but to do so. I reluctantly asked my question. The men all looked at each other with all the different expressions, some that seemed surprised, some that understood.
やはりソーアン殿からは事情を聞いていなかったか。
My good dude, I was here when I was 4. Even if he did tell me about it, I forgot. Or maybe there's a big plot like, ha ha ha, you actually know about all this, but we sealed your memories. Because you found out something you weren't supposed to know, who knows? The most suspicious, the one with the helmet, which was glowing oddly on the inside, spoke as he was pushing his chest forward.
自己紹介をさせてもらうとしよう。
Yes, please. Canis.
我の名はカヌス。
Canus.
カヌス・エスパーダ。
Canus Espada.
妖精界メリオの騎士だ。ソーアン殿には大変世話になった。
Okay.
私はいる。イルファド・デ・リエ。
Okay.
カエルム出身の天使ではなく、その法を破り落とされた打天使です。
Okay.
同じくソーアンには世話になりました。彼は実に素晴らしい人でしたよ。
That's great. カポクリス。
イグニス・カリブンクルス。重海ベスティアの魔獣。
A beast.
じゃあ最後は俺かな。魔界アスモディアから来たミシェル・アレックス。
So does that make you a demon? Or
見て
no?
の通りとっても強い魔王様。よろしくね。
Okay. I guess that answers that. I feel it. A demon king. Even I realized how dumbfounded I sounded as the words spilled from my lips. The man standing in front of me, Mizir. Oh, I should have listened to how they pronounce it. I vaguely remember him saying something like that the first time he appeared.
魔王。人間界では割とメジャーな職業じゃない？名前くらい聞いたことあるでしょ？
No. Human world refers to this world where the hero and other humans. Wow! Really? A major role? You mean that sort of character like the ones in video
そうそう
games?。
人間を虐殺したり、世界を征服したり、闇に包み込んだり、お姫様をさらったりするあれだね。
Why would you sound so proud when you say
だか
that?
ら油断してると、君もさらっちゃうぞ、お姫様。
Ah, talking about massacring people with that smile on doesn't seem quite right.
ああ、とはいえ、ここではオフだしね。魔王様とか呼ばずに、ミシェルでいいよ。
Mission. A demon king of evil familiar in RPGs and fantasy stories, the standard is abducting a princess and engulfing the world in darkness. One should raise the level and acquire legendary armaments before facing him. So how do I raise my level?
ああ、でも、ミッシーとか、みっちゃん呼びも捨てがたいな。ほら、相性って、なんだか距離が縮まった気がしない？
You sound like you're going to be annoying as hell to deal with. No, I have no need for that. I don't need to close the gap between us. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Well, in any case, I suppose I should ask about someone else. I guess we just asked what all of them are. Wait, I can't process what's happening. I crouched down with a headache caused by all the strange words and weird introductions. At the least, I was able to understand that all of these people are absolute weirdos. Out of all these people, if I were to pick who was the strangest of all... yeah. I love her expressions. I love that they actually give the heroines different expressions. Camus the Knight, was it?
ああ、 カヌスエスパードだ。この度はお悔やみ申し上げる。
Can you speak up a little? I cannot hear you through your helmet. Thank you. He looks strange, but he is gentlemanly. Putting that aside, there are a lot of things I'd like to ask.
他ならぬソーアン殿の孫娘の言葉だ。答えられる話ならばいくらでも答え。まず身長は190センチで体重は秘密。趣味は筋トレやガーデニング。少々たしなんで。
No, wait, that's not what I want to know. Hang on. Why is he wearing a secret? That's officially. Wait, that's not important. Look at how his aura changed. What is important is what is obvious. I want to know why you're dressed like that. In particular, that helmet. Why a helmet? After my short tirade, Karnus thinks for a moment and speaks.
これでもなかなかのコーデだと自負しているのだが何か気に障る部分がある。
You look like a middle-aged dad with a helmet. Coordinated.
人間界に来た際にソーアン殿に言われたのだ。お前は目立つから見た目を気にしろ。
And that's why you have that outfit on? Taking another look from the neck down, he seemed like any other guy around town with a normal shirt and vest on. But his neck and up was covered by an iron helmet like one from the Middle Ages. I can't possibly be the only one here who noticed Grandma's advice hadn't been applied very well at all. I happened to glance to the side to find the Demon King snickering as if he read my mind. Look at his face. Look at his face.
他に何か気になる点はあるだろうか。
It's not that I found another point, it's everything about you. The light gleaming from his helmet catches my eye. It looks almost like flames, but what in the world is that? What's that light coming from your neck?
それはあれだね。CD 的なやつだな。その証拠に色も変わるでしょ。
I know that's not what it
いいから
is.
そういうことにしとけ。こっちも説明するのめんどくせえし。
Seriously. It's clearly not normal though. Well, what do I do? Heavenly worlds and angels, demon worlds and demon kings. There are so many things wrong to point out that I don't know how to react. How much of this are they serious about? How much of this is a joke? As I sit struggling what to ask next, one of them walks towards me.
ことね。今は戸惑いばかりでしょうが、一度で理解する必要はありませんよ。こちらも少しずつ説明しますから、私たちのことも、この店のことも。あなたは新しいマスターなのですから。
How does he know I'm the next owner? Yo, was it Ilfa?
惜しい。残念ですが不正解です。それでは好感度は上がりません。
Friendship level.
私は打天使、イルファド・デ・リエネ。呼びにくければイルで結構です。
Il smiles after his explanation. I'm not entirely sure if he's a fallen angel, but there's definitely an otherworldly aura about him that would make me believe so. He carries himself with poise and seems the most normal out of the four of them.
おや、なんと発売日の変更ですか。
He's a nerd.
カウントダウンを心待ちにしていたというのに。
I give an exasperated look at the fallen angel who gestures to excuse himself as he takes out a smartphone. You guys have Wi-Fi? Wherever fallen angels go? What are you doing?
発売日の変更通知が届いたので、新作の公式サイトを確認しようかと。展開だと電波が入らないので。
You don't get any signal in the heavenly world,
ですが、お、攻略対象が追加？まさかあのサブキャラにもついに専用ルートが？
Oh my god. He claims to come from another world, yet he just naturally took out a smartphone. On top of that, I really have no idea what he's mumbling about. I do. I guess even if it seems normal, even this guy has something wrong with him. Wow! Way to be rude. So, how am I supposed to be responding to these earth-shattering self-introductions? Though rigid from shock, I noticed something. Hi. The one who called himself Ignis was staring at me. He's scary. I could feel his gaze upon me. but looking a little more closely, the print on his t-shirt is kind of cute. Yeah. I mean, unable to withstand his piercing gaze anymore, I gather my courage and address him. You're the demon beast Ignis, right? Did I do something wrong? I don't know why he's staring at me. Well, that's what I thought until he dismisses me with a grunt and looks away. Excuse me, I'm not plain. Huh? He flips his head to the side after muttering his rude comment. Why do I have to receive this kind of abuse in our first meeting? And so after a bit of conversation. No. You could just... You know you guys can cook and brew coffee for yourself, right? Huh?
はあ？なんでだ？コーヒー飲んだだけで死ぬわけねえだろ。
なんと、当人が知らないとは危険ですね。いいですね、イグニス。犬にコーヒーや玉ねぎを与えると
Such food stuff induce poisoning symptoms and dogs should never be fed to them.
だから俺を犬扱いすんなってんだよ、この箱入り天使が。
Mizir, the demon king, Canos the knight, Eel the fallen angel, Ignis the demon beast. After their fantasy-ridden introductions, they chat amongst themselves.
さてと、どうかなことね。俺たちが何者かちゃんと伝わった。
From the looks of it, it didn't seem like they were trying to trick me or tell me absurd lies about alternate worlds. Right, even though... I try for now. Honestly, I don't even understand half of what you all are talking about. Anyway, none of you are normal people. But to my grandfather, you were all important customers, right? Yay!
ソアンが俺たちを大切に思ってたかどうかは今じゃ確かめようがないけどさ。でも彼がそんな風に思っててくれたら俺たちはすごく幸せ。
I don't know what sort of bond, what sort of time these men and grandpa spent together. But I couldn't help but notice. Mitch's smile was one of melancholy. At that point, Ignis and everyone took a seat nearby and showed they were ready to have a serious chat with me.
ま、あれだ。この際俺たちのことを信じるかどうか後回しでいい。
Okay.
それより一つ聞かせろ。てめえはここに何をしに来た？
That's a very good question. What? His eyes squinted a bit more. It was silent. His sharp gaze was upon me, scanning every little detail.
ソアンの孫、淡きことね。てめえの話は俺たちもジジイから何度も聞かされてる。昔はこの店でジジイと住んでたらしいが、最近じゃ仕事が忙しいとかいう理由で、ずい。
Oh, oops.
そんな君がなぜ今になってここを訪れたのか。そして君がこの場所、アンシャンテをどう思うのか。それは俺たちにとっても重要なんだ。
There has to be a bigger plot hidden behind me being away from here for so long. I had a feeling they also guessed as to why the granddaughter of the shop's owner came after the shop was abandoned for so long, and that this meant Enchant was at a crossroads. Well, I don't plan on closing it down. Mizir spoke as if he read my mind. As if reacting to a somber smile, I hold out a letter toward them. The reason I came here is because of this letter I received from Grandpa. If I die, I leave the shop in your hands. Gee, thanks! Go there yourself and have a look around. If you feel you don't need it, sell it. Or you can feel free to make it your own place. That's what the letter says. That's a very short letter. I nod, my fingers graze the leaf of paper as I look toward them again. You're right, I hadn't taken time to see Grandpa, but it's not because I didn't want to. I love him. He used to take care of me. If he knew I took advantage of his kindness to escape from my current problems, I'm sure he would have been sad.
逃げ出すですか?
Right, I didn't want my dear grandpa to hate me for leaving that place, but in the end his passing is what brought me this letter and brought me here again. The fact that this has all been a trigger for me to escape that place, that's the truth.
何のことだかさっぱりわからねえが、てめえの言ってるそれはただの想像だろう。ソーアンがそんな細けいことを言う口かよ。バカみてえに笑って。そんで終わりだろ、あいつならよ。
Igna's words were tinged with sadness. Hearing them, I turned toward the others. Grandpa talked about how important this cafe always was to him, so if there are any secrets to it, I'd like to know every detail. So please tell me, what exactly is this cafe? What are these alternate worlds? My question made them look at each other. The sound of the shop returned to what it must have been like before we arrived. Silent.
言葉で説明するのは難しい。だが、ここまであなたが見た通りだ。ここは
This is
喫茶アンシャンテ。異界へつながるゲートがある店。異界の住民たちが訪れる。
Cafe operated by the Heron's grandfather. Its true identity is a cafe that welcomes customers from other worlds. The Heron didn't know about this until she took over the cafe. Otherworld literally refers to mysterious worlds other than the one the Heron lives in, existing in different space, time, and reason. While they seem to be products of fiction, they actually do exist. Wow.
店のマスターであるソーアン殿は我々のような人外を客として受け入れ、このアンシャンテを営業していたんだ。
A general term for those that aren't human. In this game, it can refer to anyone from another world. Okay.
昔からここはそういう場所でした。本来交わらない世界が交わる店。奏でられたひとときの幻。
Nice.
最も小さかった君は覚えてないかもしれないけどね。
Wait, did I meet you at some point in the past?
ほんの短い時間だったからね。覚えてないのも。
There's no way, it was just a short meeting. I think his is like the final route, so. If that's the truth, had they already been coming to the cafe back when I was still living here as a child? I close my eyes to try and remember. Fragments of images begin to cross my mind. Events buried in my memories of these past 15 years begin to surface.
俺が店を開く一番の理由はな、うちに来てくれる奴らがいるからだ。
Of course, these memories are from when I was a child. It's difficult to recall them, but I don't think I'd ever considered then that the customers I saw weren't normal human beings. Now that they mention it, I feel something nagging in the back corners of my mind. These still fleeting, fragmented memories slumbering within.
遠くから、そう、信じられねえくらい遠くからわざわざこの店に来てくれる客もいる。
That's right. Grandpa was always so cheerful when he would talk about the guests that visit. It didn't matter if they were human or not. I probably just don't remember, but I'm certain Mishir and the others would be in those memories. Mishir. All of these bizarre stories I'm hearing, I feel like I can believe them all just by recalling the heartfelt words of my grandpa. It's all true, isn't it? About other worlds, the non-humans, that grandpa kept this place open for all of you.
まあね。というか、俺たち自身の存在が一番の証拠だと思うんだけどさ。
私も嘘ではないと保証します。私はれっきとした打天使であり、このアンシャンテの居候でしたから。
Okay.
ここはそんな我々にとって最高の喫茶店でした。
That's nice.
ソーアン殿が亡くなった以上、今まで通りとはいかないだろうな。
Colonel shakes his head with sullen movements. You all came to the shop from other worlds using that door, right? So what happens if the shop was demolished? If the shop closed down and was demolished, I'm pretty sure the door wouldn't survive.
別に大したことじゃねえ。鍵さえ開いてりゃ勝手に来ることくらいはできる。
Ha! The lock.
ゲート、あの扉にプレートがかかっていただろう。
The blade. I assume it's the one that reads open and closed. Right, I see it, but is that the
不
lock?
思議なもんでね。うちの鍵はあれなんだよ。
Gate lock refers to the sign plate on the enchant gate. Turning it over locks it and unlocks it.
その
That
ままの
makes
意味
sense.
だけど、オープンなら扉は開くし、クローズドなら扉は開かない。俺たちとしては、イグニスが言ったように、鍵さえ開いていれば、勝手に出入りもできるんだけどね。けど、たまーに良くないものが出てくる可能性もあるから、基本的にはちゃんと施錠した方がいいね。
What unpleasant things? What unpleasant things?
世界を滅ぼす系のものたちですね。あとは自分以外の生き物を目にすると容赦なく虐殺するものとか。
That's too dangerous, Grandpa. How could you open this shop without betting an eye at that kind of danger?
ちなみに店舗を潰したら異世界の扉がどうなっちゃうのか心配になるかもしれないけど、そこは心配いらないよ。そもそもゲートは破壊できないからね。それに店舗も俺やイルが術をかけててね、完全じゃないけど店を害する相手が自然と遠ざかるようには仕向けてあったりするからさ。
Well, that's great. In other words, it seems the shop eluded demolition due to this mysterious power. I see, that's astounding. It does seem rather convenient.
そういうものってだけだよ。意外と知らないだけで不思議なことはその辺に溢れてるもんさ。
Uh-huh. But if that's really the case, the shop couldn't ever disappear, isn't that right?
場所だけはね。けどそこが居心地のいい場所かどうか、それはまた別の問題でしょ。
So the shop could get torn down and then it's just the store with the plate in the middle of fucking nowhere?
俺たちが望んでいる場所はこの店のアンシャンテのマスターが俺たち人外を快く迎えてくれる場所なんだ。
That's fair, that's fair. A place where you feel welcome. What?
わがままだっていうのは誰よりも俺たちが痛感してるんだけどね。
It's fine. A silence once again drapes over the cafe as those words were uttered. Right? Even nonsense. Nonsense. While I was still searching for what to say, Mizio suddenly stands up from his seat.
何せよ急な話なのは理解してるよ。俺たちは少し席を外すからちょっと考えてみて。
Okay. Wait, but where are you going?
我々は各々がソーアン殿よりアンシャンテの上階を間借りしていてな。
Ah.
そのぶりということもあるので、そこで。
So if we had went to the second floor before looking at the funny door, we would have wondered who all these rooms belong to. I guess. You rented rooms.
頻繁にここへ訪れ宿泊することもあったのだ。
Oh.
それぞれ家賃を払って借りていたのだ。
I see. Come to think of it, Il did clearly mention he was living in the shop. It's true that I had yet to see the second floor of Enchante. I really would have never imagined that these non-human guests would be staying up there.
つうか、ジジイが死んだなら俺たちの部屋どうなってんだ。寝室に片付けられたりしてねえよな。
Excuse me. It's more fun. Aha! Aha! An Enchante. Are you okay? Thanks. It's all the dust that's accumulated in this cafe. I'm not sure. I haven't been upstairs yet. I don't know if a housing authority or city officials have come to see the property.
それは困ります。
Uh-oh. Il abruptly stands up.
私の部屋には大事な宝物があるのです。それを留守中に片付けたなどと。こうしてはいられません。一刻も早く無事を確かめなくては。
Okay. With that, Il rushes up the stairs in a huff. I think he might have flown a bit. What in the world?
おっとけ、あいつはいつもああなんだ。
I mean,
という
I
か
can only
この
leave him be.
結界は愉 かりのない人よけも兼ねてるし、まあ心配ないとは思うけどね。
Okay.
じゃあ俺も部屋行ってくるわ。ガネス、お前も相部屋だし来るだろう。
ああ、とはいえ我々は物が少ない。ついでに簡単な掃除でもしようか。
As they begin to climb
そ
the
れじゃあ
stairs.
ことね。君は一度ゆっくり考えてみて。
That actually
なんなら
does sound like a good
コーヒー
idea.
でも入れてみたら。
Mizir, the last one to leave, winked at me as he spoke. Don't do that. After the sounds of the steps faded away, the space around me was hushed in comparison to how it was moments ago. But then this would have been what Enchante would have been right now if those men hadn't arrived. People from other worlds, non-humans come here to this cafe, huh? I'm allowed to wink. At first I was wondering if I should even bother trying to Hello, thank you for the follow. Whew. No. The alert did not surprise me at all. No. Now as I sit here by myself, I'm beginning to question the varied nature of reality. I need to gather my thoughts. Mizia was considerate enough to let me have some time alone. Maybe I should go outside and get some air. Why won't you make yourself a coffee? Ha. I looked at the horizon. The sun is setting. I take in its light and let out a sigh. The cold begins to grip me as the day ends. But it looks very nice. I sit on a bench and go over everything that had just happened. What else are you gonna drink in a cafe? Water. Tap water. Fresh tap water. I found that door. I met Mizir and the others. Canis, Eel, and Ignis. They all claim they aren't human. All of this easily erasing whatever knowledge of the world I used to hold. I know it was cliche, but I pinched my cheek to make sure I could still feel it. I did. So that meant this is all real. I pinched my elbow and my hand, but of course the result is the same. Sitting here, I take a breath deeper than the deepest ocean. It seems like every guest grandpa rented to It seems like every guest grandpa rented to develop the meaningful friendship with him. No, I mean, we don't know he doesn't have a head yet. We just think he keeps wearing a helmet. And the other guy having 6 wings on his back. Nah. The shop itself certainly, them here. Huh? No, it's computer graphics. Obviously. I mean, we're going to find out. I plan on doing his route first. But I think this game has a rather long main route before anything happens. Holding this irritable feeling. I let out a groan. It was a sound no one would expect to come from someone like me. What do I do? The sunset! It's so pretty! But I can only escape my reality for so long. As if to try and find an answer, I open the letter from Grandpa once again. Excuse me.
仕方なく手紙に書いとく。スタンプとか使える方が便利なのにな。
Honestly, he always loved breaking the mold. A bittersweet feeling draws a smile. I bit my lip as I read over the letter again. An official will was delivered to my parents, so this is basically just a personal message from grandfather to granddaughter. Imagine emailing some. No! You open your emails one day and there's just so, hi, if you get this, I'm dead. Most of the content was just random chatter, questions about me eating properly, making sure I was being nice to my parents, and if I was doing okay at the company where I got my job, things like that. When Grandpa would come to the house every so often, we had so much fun talking. He was sensitive to how I felt. He never did try to pry too much into my daily life. I guess this letter, it helped him work through all of that concern he must have had for me. I'm sorry, Grandpa. Oh no. It's difficult to talk about out loud, but the food supply company where I was hired was infamous for being strict about the work. That became apparent right away once I started my job there. The sales department would go door to door selling health products and supplements that were basically scams. As an office worker, I dealt with all the complaints that came from customers each day and night. They brought me on right out of high school, even though I barely made the cut, so I forced myself to endure the labor. But after so many days of working there, the ringing of a phone would trigger me. I can still hear my boss yet. Oh no. Oh no. I was tired, but then just wanted to quit. It was at that time when I got Grandma's letter, which I'm looking at right now.
辛かったら逃げてこい。
Ah.
ジジイの道楽で始めた店だが、それがお前の居場所になるならそれでいい。お前の人生だ。お前が自分で決めていいんだ。
How dare this game start off like this? I fold the letter and take a deep breath. There's no one here to guide me now, but still, I really hate that there isn't. I know I just want things to be easy. I think I forget what Grandpa would say, wishing that he were here right now. No. Huh, I thought they went to check on their rooms. My face lifts up at the doorbell ringing to see Mizia standing there.
俺だけはアンシャンテに泊まったりしてなかったからさ。
Oh.
特に部屋も借りてないし、ただブラブラって店の中うろついてきただけ。まあその代わり毎日欠かさず来店してたけどね。魔王の仕事があるから基本夜には帰っちゃう。
I want to touch his teeth. Look at his tiny teeth. Mizia smiles, adding that he'd continue to come if I were to take over the shop. He then comes to sit on the bench with me. Oh, I didn't expect that. I'm sure it's not as bad as ill, but I did imagine that you'd be living here too.
俺ってばそんなに怠惰な感じ？いると一緒とかちょっとショックかも。
Ill is a mess. I couldn't really see that at all. More importantly, is it okay for you to look like that out here?
大丈夫、大丈夫。魔王様はチートが使えてなんぼですよ。他人の認識いじるなんて、ちゃちゃいなちゃい。
A favorite word of Mizia. It often means something so strong it seems doubtful. He wraps up the strange things he performs with this word, probably because explaining is a pain to him. He's a demon king after all. While he can easily do most things such as acts of destruction, there are a few things that he's not very good at. Perception obstruction, magic used by Mizia on himself, since he would be seen as suspicious when he goes outside. Apparently surrounding people only see him as wearing normal clothes. Show me the normal clothes then. I don't read out the lines that are voiced. For both sides speaking entirely different languages, but right? I speak perfect Japanese. He stretched calmly, saying that scary fact. I wondered how detached from humanity he really was. I mean, just look at his clothes, his face, the way he talks, the way he loves. Maybe he doesn't look that different yet.
というか、まだ考え事の最中だった。提案したくせに話しちゃったらごめん。
Oh no, it's fine. Actually, in all honesty, it was helpful that he came to chat. I couldn't help but feel like thinking about this on my own would just get me down.
それさ、ソーアンからの手紙。
It is. As he pointed to the letter, I realized I forgot to put it away. Oh, yes, it is. I was holding it to my chest out of reflex, probably because it was taking me through all of those memories and emotions just now. Responding Ambivalently, he stares at the letter for a moment and speaks.
そうあんってさ、辛いもの食べられないの知ってた？唐辛子とか全然ダメでさ。
Look at his face! His sudden comment caught me off guard. Huh? I never knew. Grandma always seemed so sprightly.
だよね。キャラじゃないよね。その他にも、実はゴキブリがダメとかさ。
I mean, who doesn't have problems with cockroaches? Really? Well, I can't deal with cockroaches either. Lisa continued on speaking kindly of the grandfather I didn't know, though I'm sure it was a tiny bit of things he wanted to say. I could tell these memories were very precious to him.
そうあんはさ、大雑把な性格の割に上手だったんだよね。コーヒー入れるの。
Yeah, it was only when he poured coffee, though only might be a bit mean, that he was so intentional and serious. Lisa nods in agreement with my comment.
騎士も打天使も魔獣もこの店にいる限りはただの客。コーヒーを頼んでおやつをつまんでただただそんな時間を楽しむ場所。
That's
そうい
nice.
う場所なんだよここは。だからこそ俺たちはこの店が安心。
Ah! You're not going to ask me, are you, to take over the cafe?
まあそうだね。うまく言えないけどそれは違うかなって。そりゃついで欲しいは欲しいけどさ。
Laughing a bit to himself, he stood up, looking satisfied
とに
somehow.
かくさ、何もかもが君にとっては急すぎるし、決断が難しいのは承知の上だよ。
After a nod in response, he pauses for a moment and speaks again.
ことね、明日の予定は？
Oh.
そうあんに聞いてたけど、確か今の勤め先って東北なんだよね。もう帰っちゃったりするかな。
Tomorrow, I don't have anything planned. As for work... Ah?
ことね。
Oh, right, yeah, I don't have anything planned.
じゃあ明日またここに来てみない？
To Enchant. No.
もちろん君さえ嫌じゃなければ。
To the other side of Japan, obviously.
せっかく時間があるならいろいろ話してみたくてさ。店を継ぐ継がないは別として、俺は君のことを知りたいし、君に俺のことを知ってほしい。
Misa gave a smile that did not look at all suspicious and was actually friendly. I haven't been asked a question like that in a while outside of a family context anyway. I put at my gut in reflex and probed him. And why would you want to do
それ
that?
はもちろん運命の出会いだからなんちゃってね。
Ah, you are so funny. Even if it was a joke, he had the guts to mention something as cheesy as destiny, and him saying it with such a carefree smile brought a smile to my face as well. Yes, it's possible that this is destiny, considering it would be impossible for a normal person to meet a demon king.
魔王様ってことやっと信じてくれた？
I mean, look at yourself. Well, I wouldn't get anywhere if I didn't.
なんだ妥協か。まだ疑わしいって言うならもっと説得力ある証拠を見せてあげるよ。
Sure? Evidence?
そうだね。例えばロマンチックにあの太陽を砕いてみせてとか、この星を跡形もなく滅ぼしてとか。
No!
直々のお願いならそのぐらいのことはしてあげるよ。
Is that romantic? His smile scares me as if to say that he would actually go through with that.
まあその件も含めてさ、明日のご来店お待ちしております。なんて本来言うべきは俺じゃないんだけど。
I'll think about it. I consider whether or not I'll return. Even if I were to start heading back now, I'd be home around midnight. Considering how dangerous that might be, maybe it's better I stay here tonight. bit reluctant to stay at a chat with all of these people I don't even know. For now, I let Misa know about leaving to get a hotel for the night.
わかった。じゃあ他のみんなには
Are you?
俺の方から伝えておくよ。
I mean, why would you get why would you spend money on getting a hotel when you can really just sleep in this house that basically belongs to you? Will everything be okay with the lock?
ビルとカヌスがこっちに残るから多分大丈夫。ゲート側の管理も任せておいて。それじゃあことね。また明日。
I mean, if she really wanted to, she could just send them home and then close the gate again and sleep. Oh. Okay. Right, see you tomorrow. Oh. Oh no, it's nothing really. I haven't said see you tomorrow to anyone in such a long time. It really was nothing. Outside of work, I just didn't seem to live the same way other people did. Misa didn't make me feel weird and he replied shyly.
俺もだよ。
You are very cute. He smiled with an endless kindness. It was then I realized that I was no longer just considering coming by tomorrow. Once I got to the hotel, the promise I made to see Misa became rather clear. Yay! Stars! The hotel I was able to find was very nice considering how little it cost. After taking a shower and changing, I lay down on the bed in the room. I'm so tired. It's definitely due to mental stress. Oh, I feel it. It's time I get to sleep. I let out a yawn as I reach out to the light by the pillow. No matter how many times I think about it, I really just experienced something insane. Though I no longer thought it was a dream. Still feeling the small morsel of excitement toward visiting Enchanted tomorrow, I close my eyes and give in to sleep. Yay! Oh. Oh. I hear a voice. It sounds like a child, someone crying. Solitude is lonely. My mind was blank and I had no idea where I was or when this was. I've been waiting for you. A person appeared without a sound and stretched out. Trembling fingers sank into my chest. They literally sank in. They plunged in like a hand submerging into water. My heart felt like an alarm going off. My body shook in pain, unable to breathe. I could feel my consciousness slipping, but there was something more harrowing. Help me. It clung onto me. This unknown plea rang in my head. It was so pitiful, so sad. I tried batting away the hand, but I just couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. I woke up to the sound of my heavy heartbeat. It took me a moment to realize that the space around me was just the hotel room that I had booked for the evening. I thought I turned off those... I don't remember everything very well, but it definitely felt like a nightmare. In an attempt to dig up the memories from it, I grabbed the sides of my head. Just then the alarm goes off. I look at the time on the clock. It's already this late! I have to hurry or miss checkout! Oh no. I fling myself up from the bed and start to get ready for the day. I rushed through checking out of my room and leave the hotel quickly. My feet were moving on their own, making their way towards Enchante. Though I inadvertently made Misa a promise, I actually began to feel a little excitement to go back there again. I didn't have a solid conversation with each guest yesterday. I need to do that today. A conversation about things that don't necessarily have to do with Enchante. That makes sense. Get to know them better. I was hoping for a fresh start today, especially after my terrible dream, and I was walking along when all of a sudden I heard a clack. It was from a little up ahead. Something appeared once, twice, and was rolling towards me from the street. Excuse me. Curious about what it was, I bent down to pick it up off the ground. A pen. Didn't seem like a regular pen from a department store. Beneath the navy surface of it were a set of initials engraved in a brilliant gold. This must have been custom made.
ごめんね、お嬢さん。それ僕のなんだ。拾ってくれてありがとう。
I looked toward the person whose initials must be the ones found on this pen.
鍵さしたままでさ。よかったら持ってきてくれるかい？
I'm looking away. Huh? Oh, sure. The man was wearing a casual suit as he looked in my direction. I walked towards him, brushing some of the dirt that had gotten on the pen. I hand it over as he gives me a smile.
いや、ありがとう。メモを取った拍子に落としちゃって。車道の方に飛び出した。
Sure you were. No problem. It's a beautiful pen. I hope it didn't get scuffed. I was about to say goodbye when...
まあ、それとお嬢さん。ついでに君個人に一つ質問してもいいかな？
No. What is it? I'm not from around here and I don't know the streets very well.
聞きたいのは道じゃないんだ。言ったでしょ？君個人にって。
No!
けど、そうか。立ち話もなんだし。
What?
近くのカフェとかどうかな？
What is it with you?
さっきペンを拾ってもらったお礼も兼ねて、僕におごらせてもらえる。
Is this how you try to pick up someone on the street now? What do I do? Is this about to be one of those instances of coercion I'm I need to find a way to get out of this. I'm sorry, I appreciate the offer, but I have a few things that I need to take care of. Leave me alone!
あの魔王や打天使がいる喫茶アンシャンテに。
Huh? Now he had my attention. How do you know that? Was this person like Monsieur and the others?
正直なリアクションありがとう。ごめんね。驚かせるつもりはなかったんだけど、僕は別に怪しい人じゃないよ。淡き琴音ちゃん。
Right. Yeah.
一応僕もね、君のおじいさんとは知り合いだったんだ。いわばアンシャンテの常連の一人。
You knew my grandpa.
ということで、今更だけど自己紹介を。
Oh, Jesus Christ.
僕はリンドを薫。言っておくけど、正真正銘のごく普通の。
Mr. Rindo. A regular Enchante. I let down my guard after he mentioned he was a human, but only a little bit. Hello! I hope you're doing well. As well. I don't trust this dude. How did he even know my... I mean, if he's actually friends with your grandpa, why... Of course he would. Ignis and the others didn't know who he was before hearing me say my name. I'm sure he could tell how guarded I was when he looked into my eyes. Not seeming to care much about that, Rindo continued speaking rather casually. Why do you have a gun? Why does he have a gun? We are in Japan. People don't carry guns in Japan, like openly out on the street. Well, no, I hadn't decided on that yet. I'm saying it right now. I don't like the fact that we can date this dude. And we will have to date this dude. We need to go through all of the routes, and I don't like it. Annoying. What's your fucking problem? And why is that? Aha! Rindo spoke without any ill will, but also without a fragment of restraint. Right? Says the guy with a gun. Excuse me?
そんなものが群れをなす場所に君みたいな可憐なお嬢さんが向かうのは僕としてはちょっと心配なんだ。
I began to feel a little angry at the things this man was saying. I know I don't know everything about them, but they were guests of my... Ooh. What? The fuck? Huh? I'm sorry, did the stream just die for a second, or was it just my Streamlabs? They were guests of my grandfather's, and I know they were people he truly valued. I wish this man wouldn't say anything so bold as to contest that fact. Twitch messed something up badly. Oh. Okay. Well, it's running now, I guess. Or still running, that's good. Excuse me! I began to protest but was interrupted. Ah. Yeah, leave. Leave me alone. Go. Go with your fancy sports car. Monopolizing the conversation once again, he then disappears. I didn't get to reply. He didn't seem to think highly of Enchante, considering he was a regular there. Right. It would be best to talk this through with Misi and the others. I decided to cut my rumination there and hurry along the road to Enchante. Energy from chat not connecting to the platform, just being completely down. Again? Please. Please Twitch. For once in my life when I stream, can you not, you know... Before I enter, I pinch my cheek again just to make sure. With Kaoru, Rindo, and a Why is that? Why is that in a new... No? This is an Axis translated game. I'm just not gonna ask. In that confrontation just now too, I decided to accept yesterday as reality. Well... But still, I was nervous about going inside. I walked to the door and grabbed the doorknob. Hello? Not knowing if I needed to, I let the cafe know I'm here by taking a step inside. Huh? I thought for a moment that I stepped into a completely different shop. I look around in a panic, but the door did look the same as the one I saw yesterday. Oh! However, what I saw was not what you call a regular shop at all. What was laid out before me appeared to be an entire world. A gentle light put through the heavens. Beautiful plants I had never seen before embraced the light, stretching their leaves to the sky. The scene before me could only be described as an illusion, not at all part of reality. The only things I could consider normal here were a few dishes on a large table. As I stood confused, the person who walked up to me, unfazed by everything around me, was... Oh, Misi.
Yeah, いらっしゃい。いや、君の立場的には、おかえりが正しいのかな。まあ、どっちでもいいか。また会えて嬉しいよ。
It's nice to see you again too, but more importantly, what is all of this?
俺とイルが気合を入れて用意した特別なお茶会の場。綺麗でしょ。君の歓迎会でも開こうかなってね。決断次第では送別会になるけど、まあそれはそれで OK かな。
Oh, I see. Well, thank you for preparing all of... Wait, no! You haven't explained a thing! What is this place?
一種の幻とでも思ってもらえれば、別世界に飛ばされたわけではないのでご安心を。私たちは今も間違いなくアンシャンテの店内にいますよ。
Eli appears explaining things casually as I stare up at the endless sky. Huh, so that's something you can do too. I tried touching a few leaves of grass and they felt real. I've had myself smile for some reason. My curiosity began to win over my surprise at the surrealistic scene.
どうしました？何か気になること？
No, I mean... no, I'm fine, it's nothing. By the way, where are the other two? I changed the subject to talk about the others.
ああ、あの二人ならあっち。テーブルの方にいるよ。
Oh, my ears are starting to hurt. I head over to the table at my museum and there I find...
おお、来てくれたか。また再会できて何よりだ。こと。
I guess green means he's happy. And you still look as pissed as you did yesterday. The friendly Carnus and seemingly irritated Ignis come to greet me. Ignis is looking in every direction but mine, so I'm not sure how much of a greeting it is. He looked upset, but I didn't think I could be the issue, especially considering I was so new to the cafe. Ignis, did something happen?
ああ、まあ、ちょっとね。君が来るまでに面倒なお客さんが来てさ。
Gee, I wonder if his name is Kaoru Rindo.
あんまりにもうぜえが軽くぶん殴って追い出した。
Why'd you beat them up? A customer? For business in the service industry to do something like this could be fatal.
何と説明すべきなんだろうか。
大丈夫です。ことね。お客はお客でも、彼らは殴っても大丈夫なお客ですから。
Come to Café Enchante for an ass kicking. Does such a guest even exist?
まあまあ、その辺は一旦置いといてさ。まずはお席にどうぞ、お姫様。
Don't just brush over these things, please. Huh? Thank you. Hesitantly, I sit on the chair Mizia brought. A cup of aromatic tea set before me.
じゃあ改めて、今日は来てくれてありがとう、ことね。
Sure. I'd like to thank you as well for inviting me.
つうか、来ると思わなかったぜ。あんだけ俺らのこと疑ってたくせに。
Can you blame me? I apologize about that. I cleared some things up with Misia after meeting everyone. For now, at least, I've come to believe everything about all of you. I noticed Ignis looking away and about. I hadn't actually gone to speak with anyone individually aside from Misia. It's understandable that the others might not like that too much. I lower my head toward them. Also, I apologize about yesterday. I left before finishing our
気
conversation.
にしないでいい。むしろ話の途中でその場を去ったのは
それに実際、こうしてあなたはまた来てくれた。それだけで十分かと思いますよ。
Don't shoot me. Misia laughs nervously at Ignis' demeanor before he begins to speak.
とりあえずさ、アンシャンテのことは抜きにしても、君とまた話せるのが嬉しいよ、ことね。大したお構いもできないけど、今日が少しでも君にとっていい日になればいいな。
Sure. Though nothing in particular was leading it, the tea party began calmly. Though for a tea party aside from snacks, there were mostly heavy dishes on the table. Wow, did you all make all of this?
いや、全然。全部近くのコンビニのやつ。
Of course it is! Huh?
自分たちで料理を作るなんて久しぶりすぎて失敗が怖くてね。万が一だけど家事とかシャレにならないし。
そんなわけでして、イグニスとカヌスが買い出しに行ってくれました。
Mm-hmm.
コンビニに。
At the convenience store. By convenience store, you mean a normal extra convenience store, right?
他に何があるっつんだよ。
Well, Ignis would have been fine, but you went too, Canis.
結構な量になりそうだったのだ。
Oh, did it go
重
okay?
量に関しては全く問題ない。あの程度
His aura!
片手でも断れる。
He's so happy. No, that's not what I'm worried about.
お前の予想通り注目集めまくりだよ。
Of course. I had a bad feeling I started looking at social media knowing how it's so ingrained into occurrences like these in today's world. Helmet store, suspicious person, or things I typed into the search bars. Ah, well, there hasn't been anything possible about anything, thank goodness.
大丈夫大丈夫。そのあたりのフォローも当然してあるよ。時代ごとに適応していかないと。異端者ってのはいろいろめんどくさいからさ。魔王様のチートパワーでもうバッチリ。
Cheat power. Powers as a demon king, huh?
まあ細かく言うと、プラスで打天使の力もセットしてあって、もう最強かける最強な感じですとも。
I see. Mise nods with confidence. I guess their powers really are that great if they're even able to manipulate social media. Now that I think about it, I really only spoke with Mise. I had no idea what sort of people the others were and what kinds of things they were capable of. I'm curious about what the relationship with Grandpa was like. Is it time to chat? We're going to talk to all of them, right? Canis. I'm not sure if it was his body or helmet that made his presence so suffocating. Canis, you mentioned that you were a knight, but what exactly does that entail?
それは
Canis was halfway through a cookie he was eating and brings it to his helmet, then it just disappears. Huh? Wait, what? What just happened? Was that some kind of magic? Maybe it was more of Mise's strange powers. I was completely fixated on what had just happened on his hand.
というのが我の正体なのだ。
Oh no!
してもらえただろうか。
Uh-huh. Huh? Oh. Canis' explanation about himself went in one ear and out the other. He sounded so accomplished at the end there I can't bring myself to ask him again. Yes! I just told him that it made sense to me, but even still, how does he actually eat while he still has his helmet on? I felt like I learned who he was, kind of. No. Eel. What is it? You mentioned you were a fallen angel, but how did you end up coming here to Enchante and meeting Grandpa?
そうですね。何と説明すればいいのか。
Let me guess we don't get any real explanation for any of them.
私の場合、彼に助けられたと説明するのが一番適切でしょうか。
Saved by him? I tried to ask for more details.
ああ、いる。そこの焼き鳥とか貸してごらん。君、肉類は好きじゃないでしょ。ほら、俺のケーキと交換してあげるからさ。
おや、その通りでした。肉よりは甘いもの。
Stop ignoring me!
ありがとう。
それにいる。なぜにコーヒーを取り間違えたのか。無理せずこちらのジュースにして。
What is he, a baby?
コーヒーも飲めなくはありませんが、確かにジュースの方が私の感覚には合いますね。
On top of that, his plates and utensils were cleared and food was served to him. Mise and Canis worked quickly, watching Eel. Eel simply smiled, accepting their efforts. What is this feeling? This aura his entire body radiates, it makes you feel like he can't just be left alone. He's almost like a baby bird. You can't help but want to care for him.
いる。お前初対面の女相手にんな姿見せて恥ずかしくねえの。
初対面ではありませんが、会うのはダメです。
んなことは分かってるっつうの。初対面も同然って意味だバカ野郎。飯ぐらい自分でどうにかしろってんだよ。
Eel, would you like some of my strawberry cake?
お前も餌付けするなっつうの。
He's cute though! Huh? Oh no, my body just moved on its own. I felt like I learned who he was, kind of. I see. Okay, what do you have? Ignis. You have quite the appetite, don't you? He had huge portions of food in front of him and was clearly eating more than the others. It reminded me of people in high school, like on a soccer or baseball team, who would pile on food like this in the cafeteria.
悪いから食っちゃ。
No one said that! No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I get that he eats a lot. If this is how he reacts to small talk, we probably can't have a real conversation. I'm not sure I can talk to any of them.
最初はそんなもんだと思うけどね。
Is that really all there was? Maybe there are just different values at play here than among humans.
確かに価値観はおのおのズレがあるかもだけど、実は俺たち人外って人間界全体で見るとそんなに縁遠い存在じゃないんだよね。
Huh?
とある人物の言葉を借りるのなら、古くは神話、おとぎ話に描かれた地味猛量、地方伝説に至るまで、全てとは言いませんが、怪異や神秘に関係する事象には私たち人外が関わっているようなので。
That makes
天
sense.
使、悪魔。ま、イルとミシェルが代表的だろうな。
Also, does that mean so the presence of you all spills from your walls out into this one?
あくまで可能性の話だが、何しろ物証がないからな。
Okay.
ってわけでね、人間と俺たち人外は昔から実は結構近い場所にいるんだよ。
Yo, the times. I see. Thinking of it, all the images of ghosts and creatures I've seen over the years, putting aside if they're real or not, people recognize them at least a little considering how often they show up on TV. Misha might actually be right. Non-humans might be closer to us than we think, but I suppose it's a different thing entirely to actually run into these sorts of things in
聞き
person.
てえことはそんだけか。
No, there's one more thing. I want to hear all of your relationships with Grandpa one more time.
前にも説明したじゃねえか。俺らはここの常連客で。
いや、イグニス。おそらく彼女が尋ねたいのは、おそらくは、ソーアン殿と我々の関係性、縁の深さがわからないのだろう。
Ha ha ha. Alright, I really want to take my time and speak with everyone individually to ask again in greater detail what they thought about Grandpa. Monsieur and the others look at each other and nod, and they all begin
俺た
speaking in
ちは
turn.
それぞれ立場も生まれも全く違うし、細かく説明するのは難しいんだけどね。でも前にも語った通り、ソーアンとこの場所が俺たちにとって唯一無二の存在。
そうだな。彼は我々の良き理解者で、かけがえのない友人であった。
ええ、ソーアンがいなければ私たちはきっと今ここにいることもなかったでしょう。
That's nice.
あのジジイのことだからな。あと100年は生きるかと思ってたぜ。
The four of them glance to the same empty seat, just hoping to catch a glimpse of the shadow of their old friend. I began to understand why they were so fond of my grandfather and his cafe. One of a kind, invaluable. Of course they'd want to protect this place, the place that these people needed, the ones who thought so fondly of you. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear. That's what I thought of him. I felt so proud knowing this person they admired was my own grandfather. I heard the dull thud of the anxiety I held in my heart towards these men falling out of my body and onto the ground. Okay. Though the air filled with a solemn pause, the party continued.
なんだよ、もう飲み物がねえな。
Ignis tosses the empty bottle once filled with the carbonated beverage, glancing about the room with an upset look on his face. I looked around as well, but it seemed we were out of all the other drinks too.
あれ、コーヒーも切れちゃった？意外と足りなかったね。
Oh, well, let me go get some more.
いや、この場ではあなたは客人。ゆっくりしてくれ。
No, please don't go anywhere. No, that's exactly where I should go. You've all been treating me so very nicely. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't return the favor somehow.
何か私たちの待遇に不満がありましたか？
そうじゃねえってな。とにかく本人が行くっつってんだ。行かせてやれよ。その方がそいつも気兼ねしねえだろ。
それもそっか。それじゃあことね、お願いしてもいいかな。
Yes, it would be my pleasure. Yay! I asked everyone who would like to drink and I head outside. With just one step, the scenery around me suddenly reverted to what was everyday reality. I know I've experienced it before, but that's really so amazing. I look back, my gaze fixes itself on the ordinary-looking Café Enchante. Grandpa's Cafe. To think that To think this was a place non-humans visited. This cafe holds such an amazing secret. More than that, it's always been such a special, beloved place for those guests in particular. I'm sure I'll... Oh. First I have to go do some shopping. I was certain I'd have enough time to ponder these feelings inside after I did that. I focused myself on the present moment and tried to remember the directions to the nearby convenience store when the other dude showed up again. Huh? I noticed several cars, all painted black, parked in front of Enchante. I don't think parking is allowed there. I had a bad feeling about this, but before I could get past the cars, a person got out of the car closest to me. Of course! It was a man whose fitted suit gave off the sense that he had no time to mess around. That suit, have I seen it somewhere before today? Wait, huh?
失礼。淡木琴音さんですね。
Oh, it's not the other guy. Yes, and who are you?
私はこういうものです。
He hands me a business card. Nervously, I take it and read what it says. Government Paranormalism Measures. I've never heard of this company.
Paranormalism Measures.
Yeah.
超常事象対策機関。通称 GPM。名前の通り、科学で説明できない存在への対処を任された国家機関です。
A government agency that single-handedly deals with non-humans. The acronym stands for Government Paranormalism. Okay, I get it.
その主な対象は魔法、超能力といった神秘の力、人間界に悪影響を及ぼす
Please leave me
人
alone.
外になります。
Supernatural phenomena, non-humans. After the surprise, it took me a moment to realize why they were talking to me about it. This was about Misha and the others. These people also knew me by name. A government agency getting involved is a lot for me to take in.
まずこちらを。
Unconcerned with the flushed look on my face, the GPM agent took out an envelope and shoved it towards me. What is
公共
this?
事業用資産の買取に関する申し出証明書。そして資料の一式となります。
I am not selling this cafe to you.
現在この土地と家屋の相続権はあなたの両親にあります。なのでまず連絡を取って事情説明を。
I will not do
の
that.
ことは伏せてください。
No.
なお今年度は譲渡所得から特別控除を受けることが可能です。詳しくは
Wait a moment.
疑問点で。
It said I don't know what's going on. Why are we talking about a purchase offer? What makes you think you can
勘違い
just talk?
しているようですが、あなたに拒否権はないんですよ。
Well, fuck you then! A cold glance pierced through me. The lack of care in his words intimidated me, and I feel a shiver run down my spine.
課長も人が悪い。接触しておきながらろくな説明もしていないのか。では、私から説明しましょう。言っておきますが、ごまかしなどが通じるとは思わないでください。あなたと喫茶アンシャンテにいる人外が接触した。その情報は全て出ています。もちろん、この店を継ぐか否か、その判断をしている最中だということも。我々がこの店に抱く危惧は、滞在する人外だけではなく、店内に存在するゲートにも向いています。
So what exactly makes you think I'm going to sell it then?
異世界へつながる扉というのは、あなたが考えているよりもはるかに危険なものです。
I'm already aware of that. I know there are dangerous beings out there that could possibly come through the gate.
そんなに単純な話ではありませんよ。
Completely disregarding my words, the official began to
この世
challenge
界
me.
とは異なる法則が支配し、異なる生物が生息する世界との接触。それは、そうたやすいものではない。例えるなら大航海時代に新たな大陸を発見した時と同様。
He continued to rattle on monotonously as if reading something from a manual. Ooh. Indeed, the existence of alternate worlds and their non-human inhabitants wasn't inherently bad. However, a mountain of worries could form if we were to come into contact with them. For example, if bacteria native to these worlds come to our own, it could potentially cause diseases uncurable by modern science. We could be on the cusp of an awful pandemic. Ha ha ha.
どうです？少しの可能性を考えただけで。
I am 100% sure that's not the reason you are contacting me.
そして我々が何より気にしているのは異世界に眠る
Of course you are.
資源についてです。
Unknown materials, unknown resources. If imagine if there was a world that had gold or silver lying around as common as rocks. Trade with that world could throw the global economy into chaos. There's war to consider too, rising tension between countries hoarding resources and those that desire them. After the GPM agent finishes talking about these terrifying cases, he glares at me. So I'm going to give it to a shady government agency? I don't think so. So, you want me to just tell my parents to hand everything over to you and just walk away? What part of that sounded like I understand? Can I ask you one question? If everything's handed over to the GPM, what will happen to the cafe? I see. I wait for the papers he tries to give me, and a stunned look slowly appeared on his face as I quietly told him the following. Given that information, I refuse. I'd like you to leave the premises now. His face twists in anger and the GPM agent begins to raise his hand towards me. Oh, try me. Try me, boy! The very next moment. Oh, yeah! Out of nowhere, another arm appeared just in time to grab the agent's hand. Carlos!
GPM は GPM だ。新人か？
まあ、なんでもいいんじゃない？どっちにしろ俺たちにとってはお邪魔虫さんだよね。
Following Canis, the other three step forward to protect me. Can I just ask someone to write in chat? Is this Twitch? Is it even still live? Me. Okay. Good. Thanks. Following Canis, the other three step forward to protect me. Chat should live. That's great. The agent brushed off Canis' hand timid at the arrival of the group. He sure did.
まあまあ、下っ端くん。君の言ってること、ほぼ正しいよ。でも君さ、自分たちの都合いいように、ちょっとお話持ってるよね。
Oh, I forgot to read it out. Everyone here has already informed me non-humans have lived in the shadows of society for a very long time, so that means gates like this have been around for quite a while too, right? Eel answered my question for the stuttering agent.
ゲートが危険なのは事実。ですがそれが昔からここ以外にも世界各地に点在するのも事実。それをここのゲート一つだけで世界の終わりが始まるとでも言いたげに誤解させるのはそれにその程度で影響を及ぼすのならとっくに人間界は滅んでいるはずでは。
After being berated by questions, the agent straightens his posture and speaks once more.
誤解を招く言い回しでしたが、我々のスタンスは変わりません。ゲートと人外は個人の手ではなく国家機関。我々は
I don't feel like letting him talk.
どうか店を引き渡してもらえませんか。
平和的ってのか。 こんな小娘相手に高圧的な態度で交渉することを言ってんのか、それともてめえらの中じゃ武装した人員で周辺を封鎖した上で交渉するの平和的っつうのかよ。
は？
気づかれていたか。
というかまあイグニスが殴っちゃったし、だいたいこうなるのは予想できるんじゃない？
Oh, the guests he fought with before were just people from the GPM then? The agent lets out a childish grunt as Ignis stares him down.
ならば
You all look the same. Several men in GPM uniforms came rushing in from the surrounding roads all at once.
随分と大勢だ。
最初からこっちで来いよ。そしたら話が早えって。
You all look the same.
やる気満々なのに統率感がないな。
He.
アンシャンテにはもう一人常連客がいるのです。
Huh, could that be? I'd completely forgotten to ask about him, but I thought it might be.
そこらの人外不正が多少集まったところで何もできまい。我々の管理下にないゲートなど見過ごすことはできん。この喫茶店は我々が接収する。
If you signal the other agents ready, they're raw, intimidating metal objects. Just say gun, please. Weapons normally banned within Japan. Guns? I didn't know much about guns, but I could guess that these weren't just for show. They were real weapons. Weapons. The power of life and death in their hands. I felt sweat pour over my entire body as they pointed their weapons at me.
ことね。大丈夫ですよ。
How do you mean? Don't you see the guns? They have guns!
平気平気。彼らは対人外部隊だからさ。普通の銃とか銃弾じゃないんだよ。
Oh, that sounds like it's going to make it worse. Oh, are they like tranquilizers?
通常のものより大口径だったり、貫通力に優れてたりするだけ。
That is worse than a regular gun.
大抵人より硬いからね。
If that's true, how can you just tell me that it's going to be fine?
案ずるなことね。当たりたくなければ避ければいい。あるいは受け止めても問題ない。
What the fuck do you mean? I'm sorry, I have no idea what you mean. No normal person can just do that. I mean, why are they also carefree at the fact that we're completely surrounded by loaded guns?
余裕ぶるのも今のうちだ。人外のお前たちは確かに耐久力に優れているかもしれん。だが普通の人間に流れ弾が飛来すればどうなるか、それくらいは理解できるだろう。
あらら、仮にも国家公務員でしょ君たち。弱い一般市民に手を出していいわけ。
国家を甘く見るな。いざとなればお前たち程度どうとでもできるに決まっている。
Uh-huh.
さあ、これは警告だ。分かったらおとなしく抵抗。
抵抗ってこんな感じか。
Teeth! His teeth! His little teethsies. Oh! All of a sudden, the firearms held by the GPM agents were glowing red. You could hear their hands begin to sizzle and their guns drop to the floor. Ignis watches, struggling as a wry smile spreads across his face. Oh yeah, baby.
弾が暴発しなくてラッキーじゃねえか。ピンポイントで熱加えんの難しいんだぜ。
その姿、まさか重海ベスティアの。
おうや、ベスティアについて知ってんなら、あの世界の掟も聞いてる。強えやつは生きる、弱えやつは死ぬ。こうして向かってきた以上、殺されても文句は言えねえよな。
Go off, bro. As Ignis holds, the wild flames begin to envelope his entire body. He looks the same as when I first met him. He cheerfully jumps into the crowd of guns pointed directly at him. Ooh.
ほらほら、せいぜい頑張って抵抗しろよ、てめえら。
Jumping into the swarm of agents, he grabbed, punched, kicked, and trampled over every enemy. Wow, people are just flying all over the place.
ところで、拳一風とは何でしょうね。
我も知らぬが、まあ、イグニスの
And he got... Don't bully him!
くそ、なんだこいつ。今まで捕獲した人外とはまるでこの化け物どもめ。
He's quite literally from the bestial world. Leaving Ignis to rampage, the other agents aimed their guns at us, pulling the trigger. Oh yeah! All of their bullets fell to the ground due to the giant sword Canis pulled out of thin air.
修練不足だな。
GPM の皆さん、やめておいた方が賢明ですよ。
なはは、言えてるかも。
Like, both of these are probably the most powerful here, and they're like, huh, yeah, I'm not doing anything. It's fine. Beside Eel, who stood there peacefully, like magic with her single finger, Misia stops a bullet coming from another direction, then allows it to fall to the ground. Never mind then. I guess he's also doing something. All I could do was just stand there, dumbfounded as the whirlwind of supernatural phenomena swirled around the space right in front of me.
さて、どうするお前たち。我に尻を叩かれたいというなら、急を据えてやらん。もっとも、それほどの業の者がこの場にいればの話だが。妖精神、メリオの黒騎士、我が名はカヌス・エスパーだ。押して
Hell yeah!
おら
Scanner stood there intimidating the line of agents standing before him, and agents Ignis flung into the air came flying towards Canis, crashing down upon him. With all the weight, Canis hammered. No, his entire head came up! What? The commotion around us vanished. In that moment, everyone there, friend or foe, stood in silence at the stage at his head rolling across the ground.
イグニス、もう少し周囲の状況を確認してたな。
A shock in the form of a shout rose up from up as Canis lifted himself up and straightens his collar, which was devoid of anything.
後方不注意だぜ、ガヌス。
A young man shrouded in mystery whose face was covered by a helmet. His true identity is a headless light, is sometimes called a Dullahan.
一理あるか。ともかくだ。GPM の手勢たちを。我が剣を
He
恐
just
れなが
goes
ら。
back right to
か
what
かって
he
く
was
るがいい。
doing. Hey, yo, you can't just reuse sound effects you used in Hakuoki. That no. Suddenly, they have like two sound effects for swords in their games. This otherworldly battle continues. I was bewildered by everything going on about me as Misia placed his hand on my shoulder.
あれ、そっか。琴音ってカヌスのあれ、見るの初めてだっけ？
Yes.
まあ、そのうち慣れる。
Well, I know. I tried asking him yesterday about the helmet, but suddenly noticed that out of the many GPM agents that had arrived here, half of them were lying on the ground. It didn't seem like any of them had sustained any serious injuries. Still, it was a disaster zone.
さーて、下っ端くん、そろそろ諦めたらどう？俺たちに。っていうか、アンシャンテに手を出したら危ないってこと、これで十分分かったでしょ。ちなみに、ここでぼーっとしてる打天使様も彼らといい勝負だから。
乱暴なのは好みませんが、あなた方が帰ってくれないのなら実力行使もやむを得ませんね。
He tilts his head, signaling his reluctance. I couldn't quite imagine him being just as strong as Ignis or any of the others, though. Oh!
打天使だとバカな。そんな人外までいると分かった以上 ますます放っておけるものか。貴様らは通常の人外よりもはるかに危険だ。であればこんな小娘に貴様らの管理など絶対に任せてはおけるものか。
I think you misunderstand. I denied his statement in reflex. Many of the agents were already wounded. My voice could be easily heard now that the scene around me was nearing its end. I took one deep breath. I wanted to be sure they could hear my words. I will not be able to control them. In fact, I have no desire to do so. More importantly, control is the last thing I would ever want here in the first place. The eyes and attention of everyone there in this brief moment, it was all directed towards me. Mizir and the others with the GPA agents paid close attention to me as I spoke. I began to vocalize the conclusion I had already come to in my mind. It had to come from my own mouth, otherwise it would have no meaning at all. I spoke with Mizir and the others, and I've come to understand them a little better. Although they're considered non-humans, there's more we have in common than not.
でも前にも語った通り、ソーアンとこの場所が俺たちにとって唯一無二の存在。
そうだな。彼は我々の良き理解者で、かけがえのない友人であった。
ええ、ソーアンがいなければ私たちはきっと今ここにいることもなかったでしょう。
あのジジイのことだからな。あと100年は生きるかと思ってたぜ。
They know what it is to feel things deeply, and they feel the need to protect this place where their friendships have been forged. They really are capable of that. To let this disappear without allowing them an opportunity at all, that's not something I'm interested in. Also, if there are dangers that must be reviewed, it does not have to be right here and now.
見定めるとはどうするつもりだ。まさかその凶悪な人外たちを相手に本気で喫茶店をやろうとでも言うのか。
Why shouldn't I? Yes, I am. I will be taking over the cafe. Now that I've made my decision, I will be treating these people as my guests, just like the last owner, my grandfather. Mizi hearing my declaration beside me.
やっぱり君は変わらないな。
Yay! His smile was right from his heart. On the other hand, the GPM agent was starting to tremble in fear.
こんな強大な力を持つ化け物が喫茶店の客だと。
Call the monsters one more time, I'm going to beat your ass personally.
確かにバカかもしれない。でも俺たちは喫茶アンシャンテのそういうバカなところに惹かれたんだ。
それに GPM の主張も理解できます。個人の手に余る力を組織が管理しようとするのは合理的で正しい判断ですが、そもそもの前提として私たちもあのゲートもあなた方の手に余りますので、それ以前の問題かと。
図に乗るなよ小娘。我々の力を行使すれば貴様や親族の社会的立場など
I don't care!
どうにでもできるって。それって彼女を認めた魔王様への宣戦布告と受け取っていいのかな。
Misa takes one step forward. In one action, I felt an intimidating aura. The air around me suddenly became thin. I could feel the entire world begin to cower before him. The ground, in fact, began to rumble. I could feel a light shaking beneath me. As if pushed back by the aura's pressure, an agent falls back toward the ground.
悪い目は早めに積んじゃうのが鉄則だけど、どうしようかな。
Misa delivers an icy glare at the agent. However, the sound of a roaring engine killed the atmosphere hanging above us all. Oh, that car. A sports car appeared, moving towards us in a flash. Oh, no. It's beautiful. It's what? Wedged itself between Misa and the agent. The man who exited the vehicle while scratching his head was none other than... the guy I don't like!
だから僕は止めたのに。
This morning, it was the man who stopped me. It was Cole
いや、ミ
Lindo.
シェル。悪いね。うちのはどうもこう焦ったみたいでね。これでも一応説得はしたんだけど。
Did you know? Mizir devolves his intense aura and relaxes his shoulders as Mr. Rindo talks to him calmly.
そんなことだろうと思った。とはいえ、君のことだし、どうせ自信があるならやっちゃえとか、この子たち煽ったでしょ。
何のことかな。
Shut up.
おお、リンド。てめえ後で殺すから。死んだら生き返らせてもっくり殺す。
お前も良い年だろ。戯れもほどほどにな。
はいはい、すみませんでした。というか、君たち圧がすごいから挟まないでほしいな。
Mr. Rindo.
おや？いやあ、琴音ちゃん、朝ぶりだね。僕のこと覚えてくれてたんだ。
Yes, you were right. Memorable. Don't give me a flashback, I just read it. I finally remember the suits that these GPM agents were wearing. I thought I'd seen them somewhere and now realized they were very similar to his, which I had just seen earlier this morning. Wow. So that must mean he's the last guest at Enchante who's with the GPM, right?
彼のことですね。
一度もう自己紹介は済ませているけど、職業も含めてはまだだったかな。
No, you didn't. You just talked shit.
頂上事象対策機関、通称 GPM、情報課課長、林道薫。
One of the regular customers at Enchante working as the GPM Intelligence Division Manager.
怖い人外から君みたいな可憐なお嬢さんを守るのが僕の仕事。これから夜。
I see. I was given 2 business cards from government agencies within the same day. Likely due to Mr. Rindo's arrival calming the tension around us, I couldn't seem to find anything else to say to him in a moment.
琴音、知り合いだったのですか？
Well, in a way, this morning he hit on me. But I'm sure now that was just random chatter to try and figure me out.
よーし、じゃあそんなたちの悪い中年は魔王様が塵にしちゃおっかな。
Do it! Do it! No! Don't ask! Do it!
勘弁してよ。君の場合、塵どころか影も残してもらえなさそうだ。
As if to avoid conversation with Mizzy, Mr. Rindo walks to the agents wounded on the ground.
それで、ここまでされたんだ。年長者の助言は素直に聞くべきだって痛感できたかな。
リンド課長。
というか君たち、揃いも揃って人外を相手にするなら、過去の事例くらいきちんと把握しないとね。
Homework.
こういったことが以前もあったのだ。GPM がアンシャンテを占拠するため。
Eh.
そう。ここにゲートがあると知ったら、目の色を変えてね。今でも大人げない武装だったなって思うくらいにね。
So, what happened?
んな勝手な真似、俺らが許すわけねえだろ。
Probably all chased him away.
まあ、なんというか、控えめに言ってフルボッコかな。それはもう徹底的にのされてね。
Probably deserved it.
僕らはこの店と休戦&生還、その監視役が僕ってわけさ。ミシェルみたいな魔王様一人でも困るっていうのにさ、揃いも揃ってみんなラスボスすぎるよね。
Last boss! Term that usually indicates the final or strongest enemy in a story or game. Rindo calls the regulars there as being the strongest from each world and often coins the last boss term to them. Which begs the question, what is Enchanted? Why are they all gathered here?
魔王。
おいおい、嘘だろ君たち。GPM では基本中の基本だよ、それ。喫茶アンシャンテに救うミシェル・アレックス。最強最悪の人外の王、魔王様ってね。
A regular customer of Café Enchante, he is a rarely seen demon king and is also known as the strongest non-human king, surpassing the non-humans from all the other worlds. Oh Jesus. We need to review our training program. That's what Mr. Rindo muttered as he looked back at us.
まあそんなわけでさ、 今回のこの子たちの襲撃は決して GPM の総意じゃない。僕の頭でよければいくらでも下げるからさ。僕に免じて矛を収めてくれないかな。
No.
我はアンシャンテが存続するならばこれ以上の要求は必要。
別にリンドは関係ねえが、弱いもんいじめは趣味じゃねえ。ここらで手打ちにするのが筋だろうな。
最強最悪の人外の王様的にはちょいちょいと根絶やしにする
Do
と
it.
いうのも悪くないかなと思うけど。
Do it. I'm giving you permission. He looks to me as if to ask for permission. I vigorously shake my head side to side. I'm alright as long as they don't do anything to harm the cafe.
だってさ、うちのマスターがそう判断したんだし、君たちは晴れて無罪方面だね。
Aren't you glad?
そう言ってくれて心。それじゃ君たちは帰った帰った。後で山のような始末書を一緒に書くとしようじゃないか。ちなみに僕としては君にここを諦める方向で説得するつもりだったんだけど、もう決めたんだね。
Yes, I did.
常連客が魔王に首なし騎士、打天使に魔獣、どいつもこいつも存在が大災害。
I'm gonna date them.
君はこ
ははは。
の大げさに言ったら世界までもが何かしらの影響を受けるかもしれない。それでも君は
Yes, I will. Stop asking. I say once again at Enchanted Sign. I consider the name of this place where Grandpa and the others here had forged so many memories together. Yes. I nod as if to take it all in. I understand that it's selfish, the end of the world. Maybe I don't understand as well as I should, considering something as giant as that. But when Misia and the others talked about Grandpa over the years, their warm smiles, all of them so bright and dazzling, they were just so beautiful. I just didn't want to lose that. Hey. Look at Ignis! The regulars focused their attention on my declarations once again.
やはり彼女はソーアンの孫娘です。とてもいい人ですから。
胸に響くこと
どう？これで少しは彼女に興味が湧いたんじゃない？
さっきの単価は悪くなかったんじゃねえの。
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, I decided on my own without asking any of you.
いいんじゃない？面と向かっては言えなかったけど、みんな君に継いで欲しかったわけだしさ。
つうか、そのうぜえ敬語いらねえ。ここに作ってんだから普通に話せよ。
Oh, understood. I mean, sure. Meanwhile, Mr. Rindo stood as if he gave up, shaking his head.
そっか。君が自分で見て自分で決めたんならもうこれ以上僕から言うのは野暮だよね。
Go. I don't want you here. With a bitter smile, Mr. Rindo looks at Misia and the others.
アンサンテが営業再開なら監視業務も兼ねて僕もこれからはちょくちょくお邪魔させてもらうよ。
Who would automate when we need wait, no, they're all probably really old, but this one is human old man.
人外にいじめられたとか困ったことがあったら何でも相談してね。
Stop!
新人マスターさん。
Don't talk to me that way. Okay, I'm sure I will, Mr. Rindo. Don't.
人聞きの悪い我らが彼女を害するわけ
He's
が
mad now.
まったくですね。リンドウとは存在の価値が比較になりません。
おう、つうかリンド、何しれっと帰ろうとしてんだ。さっきの詫びとして2、30発殴らせる。
ははは、ごめんこむるよ。それに人間にはこんな言葉があるんだよ。
Smiling, Rindo escapes as Ignis chases him. This cafe has been a nurturing environment of friendships for the regulars, Mr. Rindo included. These interactions cross the boundaries between humans and non-humans alike. I turn back toward Enchante. I'm sure conversations like this happened every day throughout the history of the cafe. It may be up to me to be able to bring back the kind of spirit around here. I still don't know anything and the goal seems so very far away now. But still, I'm sure... What? Hmm?
これから よろしくね。
Yeah! Oh my god! That was one chapter? Two and a half hours for one chapter? That's a long time. Because I'm not sure. I think stopping here would be good, and then next time continue with chapter 2, because there's no way I can finish the entirety of chapter 2 as well. And I've already been streaming for almost 3 hours again. So I'm going to be very mean. And stop here for today. And this, woo! Wow! And almost destroying my mic in the process, apparently. Oops. So thanks to everyone who came, who's still here. We managed to actually read through the prologue and the first chapter. There are 8 main chapters before you can actually get to someone's specific route. Oh wow, that is a lot. I guess the first playthrough will take a very long time. I will play the game again tomorrow. No. Don't do that. What? Ah! Oh, that's fantastic. I will continue playing the game tomorrow. And then there's going to be more of the main story, so my schedule is wrong. I thought we would get into the first route way faster than this. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna da-da-dun. Da-da-dun. Ooh, I'm gonna kill this. Here's a nice transition. Thanks for coming. See you all tomorrow. I'm gonna put on my the ending song. Though this one is also really nice. So, see you next time. Bye bye.